There we go, mate. We got a content warning last week for the way we started the show.
So we've toned it down a little bit this week.
It says that you're not allowed to play Neil Diamond
while
full blast while singing the lyrics. You're absolutely not allowed to do that.
Well, was it the fact that we were playing the song, or was it the fact that our dancing was absolutely terrible?
No, it was definitely the song.
Oh, okay.
I got a little message thing being like, your content has been flagged, and like people won't see it.
Oh no!
Damn it!
That was some of our best stuff as well.
I think it was some solid content. Yeah, I think it was nice. How you doing? Welcome back from your LGT travels.
I know it feels like I've been away for ages, but
it's because we didn't do a stream on Thursday either.
Yeah, we didn't do one on Thursday. Oh, here we go again. Don't spill it.
I'm going to spill it everywhere again.
Oh, no. Yeah, we didn't do one on Thursday, and then we've moved from Monday to Wednesday this week because of work and life
things.
Which is unfortunate.
I'm worried our audio's a bit punchy there. I'm going to turn it down somewhat to my
We've got
friends.
Luke and Adam in the chat already.
How
are we sounding, boys? Are we a bit...
It looks fine on this end. It just keeps going a little bit red.
Is it me? Do I need to chill out a bit again?
Chill out.
Do I need to take myself off for 5 minutes, have a look in the mirror and reevaluate my life?
Don't take yourself off anywhere.
Just walk off straight. Where's he gone? He's looking at his life. He's looking at his life in the mirror in my bathroom.
Evening, Stephen. He's gone, mate. He's had enough.
Steve. He's had enough after 5 minutes.
In this week's show, we're going to talk about your LGT adventures, some of which sound absolutely ridiculous, and I can't wait to talk about. We are going to do the Meta Monday, look at some of the numbers and the stats. And then we're going to talk, our discussion subject is, why'd you play 40k? Which sounds like a bit of a weird question, but we have thought it through.
No, I think it's quite a good topic, because I was having a chat with Adam about this, and Stu and Matt and Guy on the way home. And it's just a case of looking at why we actually play this hobby, why we commit so much time to it, so much effort. You know, it's not just the playing, the painting, the building, the podcast, the community, the whole thing as a whole. Why do we do it for this hobby? Like, what is it that makes us do it?
We do it for the girls.
Do it for all of the girls, mate. It's just
spoiler alert. Tom's in the chat. Tom knows what I'm talking about, the King and Queen. Me and Tom, they're just always hitting on us.
There's some ripe girls at the King and Queen,
Tell
mate.
you what.
Fish in a barrel.
Whoa, honestly. Some of them students said, can't wait to come up and see a couple of...
And we're getting a content warning again.
Second content warning for... Right, let's look at these stats from... I wonder if some of these are like reflected in your LGT experience. The numbers. Let me just line this up real nice. There we go.
Nice and central.
There we go. Like a bit of centricity. It's not a word.
Is it not? Jesus Christ, my English is bad.
So obviously they had the LGT, which we're going to talk about, 734 players, 5 rounds, so that has given us a big chunk of data, which is great. Shall I jump down and go straight to the stat? Let's start with the stats and then we'll work our way up and look at some specific results. The field begins to separate with Eldar, CSM and Tau pulling ahead. I'm not going to call them Eldari ever. Does anybody else do that?
No, screw them. They're always Eldar. They will always be Eldar. Same as Dark Eldar.
It's borderline
always
offensive.
Dark Eldar, won't they?
Yeah, always. So they had a 54% win rate. Still top. Number of players were 121. 25 lists going X and O/X and 1. And there's 7 tournament wins since the data slate. Everything but their win rate that is down to a solid 54% rate. Playing versus them is still not fun, but they are beatable. Maybe just not by
my factions. I think I just want to say something about Eldar, that I think they have been nerfed. But space elves. But I think the issue with them is the reason that people are beating them now is because people were playing them on autopilot. So people were playing them because their rules were so good that they could just turn up to a table and win 60-65% of their games without even trying, with no player skill at all. Now it's got to the point where the players that are good with them are still very good with them. The players that were on autopilot are now struggling. I think that's why the percentages have evened out a little bit more on them.
54 is way less awful than it was. Jesus.
What was it, 60?
Yeah, it was like, outside the mirror, it was like 71% or something. It was absolutely stupid. Interested what the chat think. I think Rob was saying similar things. Tom, when we were chatting to him last week, the week before last, about Eldar, that like they're still going to be pretty mean. And people know what they're doing. They're still going to be quite brutal, but they're just not going to be the stupid level.
We're in a movement meta, and they move the best out of the majority of armies that are out there.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're still going to be strong. They're still going to score good secondary, still going to score good primary. And they've still got really strong units, despite having a load of them nerfed.
And they've still got fake dice, which is just the dumbest. I'm not going to talk about that again, but it's just like the dumbest mechanic ever. I hate it. But anyway. At least it's gone down, but it is still what everybody thought that it'd be pretty high. The Tau are coming in hot. Tau are coming in hot because they've got like half their army.
They got an extra quarter of their army.
1.5 armies.
Yeah, and those crisis suits are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I know Matt played against them at LGT, and he just said it was absolute. Like, he thought he was rolling a lot of dice with aggressors, and then those suits drop in and just absolutely melt you. Yeah, and then they do all the movement stuff again with fire and fade and all that as well. So I
mean, 53%. They're literally up there with Eldar out there. They had less players, 71 players to 121, but it's still concerning. Howling Jimmy Jefferson, my boy.
Oh my God.
Howling Jimmy Jefferson. The army is powerful, but people aren't getting used to playing them. Yeah, well, but it works both ways, doesn't it? People are getting used to playing against them, but people are also getting better with them.
Yeah.
It's like a two-way horror show.
Yeah.
Guy says, Eldar hate it when you get up in their grill and punch them in the face.
Well, yeah, Guy, I think
That's the Chaos Space Marines player in the chat.
Yeah, so Guy, from what I remember Guy telling me, he made a Tau player concede on turn 2.
Well done, Guy.
Which literally made everyone very happy, I think, apart from the weird Tau people over in the corner.
Yeah. They do. The thing about Tau is they do stick together.
Yeah, they're like weird.
The Tau players, they are they're an unusual bunch. Very passionate about sticking together. It's because they think they're special. Because they're always like, we're not very good.
But they are good.
No, they are now. CSM coming on strong with 70 of their players placing well. 54% win. What's with all these 54s and 53s?
It almost like the meta's almost balanced itself out a bit.
Tuck foul. I like that. Tuck foul.
What? So he just doesn't get flagged again?
That should be the name of like the fucking who's your commander? Oh, Commander Tuck foul.
Mate, the problem is it's really like it's bordering on racial appropriation for like the Chinese vibe out of them as well.
Well, now you've said it is.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. That's another content warning. Jesus.
Oh, God.
Tuck foul. Sorry, I just can't get Lee's getting on because
Come on, the tuck foul.
Guy says turn 3, but we're still marvellous. Okay. Tom, you're not on best behaviour. You are Tau don't like people. No one likes to get punched in the face. Except maybe Chaos. Look,
Slanesh literally lived for it.
CSM are really strong. We were chatting about that before the stream. Yeah. Guy, you're in the chat playing. Me and you are obviously playing in the league. Probably going to get smashed by CSM, but they're looking pretty good out there. You saw a lot of them at LGT come across them.
I didn't play any, luckily, because I was at the bottom table, so it's fine. Wasn't going to come across them. But yeah, from everyone I spoke to's experience of against playing them, it's nasty.
Super solid.
Yeah, loads of good units, solid units, reasonably priced, and a good army rule as well in those dark packs. So yeah, just a very solid army.
We might have been racist. Adam says out there Japanese. Tau. No, they're not Japanese. They're aliens. What do you mean out the Japanese?
I don't know, mate. I don't know anymore.
Listen, let's not try and draw cultural. Let's not go there. I think
let's avoid that today.
Last episode we've had a warning based upon the music. Let's try and avoid.
So do I need to avoid my story about the Irish pub full of Jamaicans?
No, we're going all in. That's sorry. You've already told me a bit of that. We're going all in on that. I can't wait for that. So yeah, CSM are looking pretty hot. Guy, you got any insights as to what you think is making them particularly strong at the moment? I'd be interested to hear it. Rob says, my favourite LGT moment was the Tau player's face when he realised he don't get my army rule when battle shocked. He don't get my army rule. Don't get their army rule.
Don't get their army rule, I guess. Because why would you not get your own army rule when battle shocked?
Bloody Tyranids and battle shock.
But I've just witnessed your table downstairs while watching your wife eat again.
Listen, that's all it is. It's like a weekly feeding.
Me just watching G eat and then having
it's not ideal. I sat you in between us.
Yeah, it was so awkward.
The mouthful's are out of control.
Right, back onto the meta.
Interesting note. I'd say this isn't an interesting note, but a depressing note. Every faction but Imperial Knights and Space Wolves had a list go X and 1 at the LGT, with 105 players doing so in the 5-round tournament. In fact, Imperial Knights, this is depressing, only had one list that placed well, and that was their tournament win in South Africa this weekend.
Yeah, I've heard South Africa's a hotbed for Warhammer as well, to be fair.
Christ.
Absolutely.
It's a real hotbed for
Warhammer. It's a real hotbed for Warhammer.
There's one thing now South Africans love, it's competitive Warhammer.
Competitive Imperial Knight Warhammer. They're all just playing Imperial Knights. It's the only army over there. That's why they won the tournament.
I was going to try and do a South Africa accent.
No, please. God, we've gone down a really slippery slope at this moment in
Imperial
time.
Knights are in trouble. It's not ideal, is it? 41% is awful. It's so frustrating. What do you mean poor one for Imperial Knights, Luke? Good Lord.
Pour one out.
God, I'm a bit upset about that. They nerfed them too hard. We did say that, though, 2 weeks ago. We said Eldar are going to stay really strong. Knights are going to drop out. It's not ideal. They've been hit too hard. They need to roll back on some of that stuff. And I think a 41% win rate when you add... It's like... I mean, they're fairly popular faction. I wouldn't say they're like an underplayed faction.
The problem is with Knights, it's just so hard to balance them. They're either too good or they're too bad.
I think that's harsh.
They can never make them middle of the road, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They're just so swingy.
Well, it's because they're just so spammy, yeah.
Yeah, you change one rule and it changes everything.
Yeah, there's probably better ways. From the guy says, "Fuck." You all are like enjoying yourself now in the chat, but just wait.
Just wait till Chaos Space Marines get their nerf, which is 100% coming.
It'll all come back round. It'll all come back round. So don't relish in other people's misfortune. That is a message. That is a good message.
It's a solid message to
still
take
gonna
away
have the
from
fun
this.
out there.
Unless they're Tau players.
It's a shame no one plays Space Wolves. Everyone just says this, paints them like Space Wolves and then plays them as Marines.
I actually played someone that played Space Wolves at the weekend.
Did you?
Yeah.
You smash him?
Yeah, I beat him. Which, to be...
There you go. Shouldn't have played Space Wolves, should he?
Well, in fairness, their army rule is possibly the worst in the game. And, you know, why would you take Space Wolves when you can, in the Heroes of Rusk or something it's called, their army rule, when you can just take Gladius and get better rules and still run all the characters if you want to run the characters.
I mean, it's literally a matter of days before you... I mean, it's all changed anyway, and you've got a new Marine book coming out.
Yeah, Moo Codex.
In a matter of days, next group of factions, Black Templars, Orcs, Nids, Dark Angels, Votan, Necrons and Guard. All these factions had at least 9 top placings, which separates them from the bottom. Win rates 45 to 55. So they're in the fun bus. I'd be happy if I was playing them. That's the fun bus.
That's the fun bus.
That's where you play them. You're not going to get nerfed, but you're not going to get smashed.
Neither of my armies are in the fun bus.
Yeah, we're not on the fun bus. We're on the side of the road.
Trying to hitchhike and no one's picking me up if I'm hitchhiking, are they? Imagine me at the side of the road trying to hitch a lift. It ain't happening, is it? Just like
you never know. People in chat. Luke, the nerfs did seem random. Tom, beating Space Force is like beating a ginger step kid.
Yes, thank you, Tom.
Fun and easy. Did you win the game after you beat him?
Beat him. Like,
saying you beat him up. Saying you got aggressive.
I never get aggressive. I'm one of the least aggressive Warhammer 40k players I've come across, I think. Just a very nice man. I'm just an ordinary man.
We're just normal men.
We're just normal men.
Oh God, I thought my drink over there. Jesus Christ. Black Templars are going big, horde spamming out their Crusader bricks. 55% win rate, 39 players, 10 placings. Shows they've got legs for days. Fair enough. Not a bad...
But they've all got bowl cuts, so they look shit.
Codex Space Marines, second worst faction of the weekend, 41% win rate. Not a lot to show for the amount of play. Will the new Codex be enough to help them get back to the fight? Seems decent so far. The Codex seems punchy.
Yeah, but do you know what the best thing about this whole meta watch is? Right? Not even one mention of Admech.
Oh no, they'll be coming, mate. You'll be right at bottom.
No, look, they're not. They're not. They're not even down. I read further down. They're not even there.
Go on then. Do you want me to have a look and see where you actually are?
No, I don't. I don't need to see where I am.
You're gonna rise and right to the top, mate. It'd be like going to the moon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be that one that sets the pace with Admech.
Well, the chat's kicking off. Wolves, Howling Jimmy Jefferson. Wolves are in Warhammer. My eyes are quite good, aren't they?
Yours are better than mine.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm. I don't know.
I think you need glasses, don't you? Wolves are in Warhammer jail still for their Death Star shenanigans in 6. Bloody hell, Jim.
Bring that right back.
I'll tell you one thing about Howling Jimmy Jefferson. He don't forget.
He does not
He's
forget.
grudging from 6.
He might as well be playing Votan. Had neither of these grudges throwing around.
I'll never forget what they did in 6.
That time they'd fucking beat me in 6, mate. Still got he's got a dartboard with a space wolf in it, just still throwing darts at it at the moment.
I love that. What you on about, Telly? Is it getting hot in here? It's always hot in here.
Are you red?
Why do we look sweaty? I think we look quite well balanced. Guy says Liam is the strongest person I've ever met. He could crush a skull with his fists. Rob says
I did give Guy a hug yesterday, and he did feel
crack his back.
Yeah.
18 Thunder Carry's best way to play the new White Scouts attachment. Bit of insight there from Rob. Liam is looking like he's blending into that jump.
Am I? I didn't even think I was that red.
He's not that. He's just trolling. Matt, Thunderwolf Cav don't do much.
So we've got Rob going, it's the best way to play him, and then Matt going, they're absolute rubbish. Which one of you two finished higher at LGT as well? Uh-oh.
I'm worried.
I'm worried it's going to go off in chat.
I'm worried.
Right. Let's look at the bottom of it. Custodes, we got the violin out for Custodes when Tom was here. Oh, in fact, no, Orcs. Why is everybody at like above 55%?
Because there's some armies that are absolutely
so
awful.
Knights are just getting battered. You got Orcs on 55%.
And Space Marines.
Yeah. Custodes are not at the bottom, but they are not far off the second worst spot. 3 players go X and 1 at LGT. Looking at the numbers, 85% lost even their first or second game. Christ. Fucking hell. The other 15% lost their third game, which lines me up to a mid-board bully, but no way of winning if they can't get past game 3 alive. 71 players and not won one of their first 3 games. Won their first 3 games.
Jesus Christ.
They're just getting brutalised by the big lads.
Yeah, and the problem is that they got a massive indirect nerf with that mortal wound, the feel no pain thing that happened to them.
Yeah, it's rough.
So
the final group, where are Admech? Admech is forgotten. Admech. The final group that still has life in them are competing. Are GSC, Death Guard, Chaos Demons, Chaos Knights, Thousand Suns, Grey Knights, and Space Marines. All have good win rates besides Space Marines, and all of them are top 5 placings
in South Africa.
Dark Eldar, worst faction in the game. Argument for who's second, who's third. Puss Sisters, second worst. I mean, it's kind of as we predicted looking at the meta. I think we've been calling it right week to week, haven't we? Eldar were always going to stay at the top, although it would come down. Knights would take an absolute pasting. Custodes a drop, but still, hit around mid-table. And then a bit of a bum fight for everything else. It'd be interesting to see what happens with Codex Space Marines.
Yeah, and if they change their points again, which would be interesting.
Yeah. What's weird about Space Marines is they feel like a horde army.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like the fact you got loads of Marines. I think that's a bit lame.
Well, it's not exactly elite. not to be the lore master, but it's not exactly lore relevant, is it?
Oh yeah, what's the law you got for us this week? You're
mate,
the fucking law master now.
Like panicking about
fucking Liam the law master. You said last week I've got a segment for the podcast.
I was like literally, and then I realised.
What you got? Go on.
No, I realised on the drive over I had nothing. I've got nothing left. I've got absolutely no lore left.
No, I can't press that button. That's bloody thingy. I took nothing left off.
Oh no! Why did you take nothing left off?
Oh god!
Don't do that
Christ.
again.
That's it. Shadow banned. There we go. That's the Meta Mondays. Interested to see what people think in the chat. Oh, I mean, people know won LGT, didn't they?
Yeah, Liam won LGT.
Bash Marine. You won Liam?
Well, no, his name was Liam. We just have the same name.
You say him for. You say. Do you know him?
No.
Oh right.
I don't know any of them.
What's his profile? Don't know. What is he, a good lad or what?
I don't know. Maybe Tom can give us some insight.
Eldar, CSM, Eldar.
Yeah, so it's not changed a lot, has it? Really?
It's not changed a great deal. It's frustrating. The bit that I was off on is I thought Tyranids would be like kicking out. I thought Tyranids would be doing pretty well.
I think they did really well up until a point, and then they kind of hit a ceiling. I think there was a few of them that did really well, went like 4-1 and stuff like that, and then they sort of hit a ceiling. But you remember the Codex has only been out for what, a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So I think people are still finding that list. I think give it another couple of weeks and you'll start seeing them creep into those top spots. Because there are people who find a list that counters this Chaos Space Marine nonsense that's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Jesus, the chat is going off.
Go on, I'll put it over there for you so it's easy for you to see. What?
Lanky wizard.
Recently is that? I'd make a beat tell you know. Rob says Matt got more player win percentage of it. Right, he's joking. We're not going into a fucking Spanish Inquisition of who finished that. No, we're not doing that.
To be fair, Matt knows about the Spanish Inquisition as well, though. Just has to ask his missus.
What? Why?
Well, she's Spanish.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, there you go. I didn't know that. I was like, do tell. I don't know. Don't know the info. Telly says, what did you take, Liam? Well, you can chat through that in a sec.
Yeah, I'll go through what
Guy says, Liam VSL, the lanky wizard.
Yeah.
Will now John Lennon win Crucible with them?
What, with Tyranids?
The meta seems really well even and balanced with more factions competing. It is definitely more balanced than it was.
I still think it's the percentages are a lot better, and then you just look at that top 8 players from LGT, and it's still dominated by 2 factions again, which is disappointing. But I think everything underneath.
I think, guys, right? It is more balanced than it was.
Yeah,
but you've still got Eldar really ruling the roost. Custodies fall. Yeah, just the Knights thing that upsets me. There's just didn't. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop moaning about Knights. Right, LGT. You went to the LGT.
I went to LGT.
What did you take?
I took Blood Angels in a Sons of Sanguinius list.
Yeah, because you've been reading the book.
Dante. I listened to Dante. I took Dante. I took Sanguinary Guard. I got laughed at by a lot of opponents when I told them I was playing Sons of Sanguinius because it's not the optimal way to play them.
Oh, okay.
Rob kindly pointed out that I was playing a themed list rather than a meta list, which is always good.
How did that make you feel?
I don't know. You know.
That's what you're about. You're about a theme. You must have felt like,
I just wanted to bring Sanguinary Guard, so I brought Sanguinary Guard. The first thing I would say is that the event was awesome. Like the tables were too close together. The battle mats were touching on all the tables.
You don't want to be touching.
So you were touching battle mats, which was a pain in the backside. Cloth. But I think one of the best bits, and I think this is what we'll touch on later, was the fact that I think probably about 12 of the Brighton boys went up. So there was a great community of us lot there.
Yeah.
Catching up between games, having the chat and stuff like that, which really made it interesting because you weren't just stood there on your own. Like there was a little community of you that was there sharing stories, sharing experiences of who you played and what you got up to, which was really, really good. So my first game I came up against Grey Knights, which I played a guy that went 4-1 who won the RTT there the night before. So they do an RTT the night before, then they do an
on the Friday.
Yeah, and then they do one on the Monday as well.
Oh, right.
So you could play a lot of Warhammer.
If you could go all in and just 4-day it.
4-day it if you really wanted to. Really nice fella.
Pick someone up doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the odds, do you know what I mean? You'd get something.
You'd win something.
Oh, no, I meant sort of like, an illness. I meant like a cold, flu, stomach bug. Like,
scabies.
Yeah, you get something. Sorry. Yeah, maybe you would win some as well. Yeah, I guess maybe.
So the issue I had against Grey Knights, and this is the problem with them, is that my army wants to get close to you and charge, and every time you get within 9 of Grey Knights, they move away.
It's going to be a problem that if you wanted to charge, isn't it?
Yeah, and then they did it once per game where I moved my Hellblaster somewhere, and you shoot them and they move away. So I spent my whole...
So how did this game pan out?
Basically chased him around the board for 5 turns and lost. Which was really fun, to be honest with you. But the guy was really nice opponent. So really nice guy, really chill. Went through all his rules properly.
Lights have turned down.
Well, it's good because I look less red now.
Are you happy with that, Rob? You're going to stop commenting on people's top, say?
Yeah, really nice guy. Went through his rules and played it in a fair way. Game 2 was interesting.
Some chat saying he's a fantastically good player. Telly, maybe someone can answer Telly's question in the chat. There's about 20. There's a lot of people that were at the event. He was a fantastically great player.
Who was that? The person
Adam says that about the guy you played. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom says shout out to Jay Ashford, Brighton lad, came second in the doubles only last time in his life. Came second, I think.
I love the way you read that without realising what you were reading. Then.
Oh shit! I just read something out bad.
Well, the only time he's ever come second.
Oh, Jesus.
I love the fact I've had to explain that.
Well, it's because I don't. It's because my brain works. I just read it out. I'm vulnerable to Tom. You need to do the reading in the future.
To Tom.
I don't know what I'm going to be reading.
In multiple ways.
This happened the other week. I read some out. I'm like, I shouldn't have said that, should I? No, I've said it now. Bloody hell, Tom.
So, game 2, I drew Eldar, which I was not massively infused about. So I've turned up to the table, I've set the table up, and the fella's army's already on the table.
Right, so
I'm thinking, he's here somewhere. 5 minutes gone, he's not appeared. 10 minutes, he's not appeared. So the TO's come up to me and gone, where's your opponent? I was like, I don't know, mate, his army's there, but I don't know where he is.
Did you check under the table?
I had a cheeky look. He wasn't under there. And then
hang on, guys. I was testing a camera. Look, there we go. I was testing a camera. Let me cut to this. Are we
back on?
Yeah, no, we're fine. I knew. I should have said at the beginning that I knew this was going to happen. Because there we go. Boom, we're in that camera. I should have said at the beginning I was testing the second camera to see how long it survives, and that's how long it survived.
Yeah.
Test complete. We're back. You can see us. Carry on, Liam. You checked under the table.
Checked under the table. He's not there. So the TO's come over and gone, oh, you need to start the clock. And I was like, well, to be fair, I'm not doing that. I don't think that's quite.
I mean,
necessary.
to be fair, I would have done that, but we're different mentalities. Why do you play the game? As we'll come on.
Yeah. And
I'd have been like, oh really? Yeah, ding. Oh,
ding.
Oh, sorry, we're off.
And then so it got to about 20 minutes, and I was like, right, I want to actually play someone. So I started wandering off, and as I wandered off up to the judges' table, a very sweaty individual appeared, white as a sheet, right, sweating his absolute nuts off. So I'm like, oh, are you playing Blood Angels, mate? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool, we're playing. He went, okay, cool. Has no one told you? I went, has no one told me what, mate? He went, I've had a medical emergency. I was like, okay, okay, cool. Like, yeah, we're just set up.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. I was like, cool, man. No, I said, oh, I just thought you were in the toilet or something. He went, no. I had a back ulcer and it's popped, so it's weeping at this moment in time. And I was like, oh, are you sure you're all right? She's like, do you not need to go home or something?
He had a weeping back ulcer.
Yeah, and he was like, no. I'm just looking for a plaster. And as the game went on, he got progressively more white and progressively more sweaty.
He's just dying at the table.
Yeah, and I was like, mate, I really think you need to go and get some like medical help or advice or something. But I won, so it made it even worse for him. Where's
your fate dice now, eh? They ain't going to save you, are you, mate?
Mate, I don't even think he used any, mate. I think he was in such a bad shape, I don't think he knew what he was up to.
He didn't even know what faction he was playing. He just knew he had some models.
Yeah,
It's good. Listen, I mean, it's very good advice, I think, for the community, that if you're experiencing a severe back ulcer, which could pop,
probably don't sign up to LGT.
I would avoid, a lot of standing around a lot of people.
Yeah.
You'd never know when them boys are going to burst.
In a very hot room.
So that sounds like a chill game.
Yeah, that was fine. Game 3, I played Death Guard with the Mortarion and the Plague Burst Crawlers shooting out a line of sight. Yeah. And then this one fella that then made them hit on 2s and basically just picked all my stuff up before I got anywhere near him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't a lot I could do about that one. And you kind of get to that third game and you're like, he was being a bit janky with stuff. He was like putting his like Mortarion so its wing could just see like the corner of one of my bases or like the tip of my gun, and was like, oh, I've got line of sight on that. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, well, I'll just turn my model around then. And he was like, no, but you've moved the model now. And I was like, okay, cool. Like, I was like, third game, whatever, mate. Like, just get on with it. But the highlight of day one was the pub that we found in the evening. So we were staying in a place called Edmonton, which, if you know anything about London,
I used to live up in Walthamstow.
Yeah, it's not the greatest area, to be fair.
There's a lot. What I'll say about it is there's a lot going on.
There's a lot,
but not the sort of stuff you want to be involved in.
No, that was the morning after. So we've got to where we're staying, and we've literally Googled the closest pub. So the closest pub is an Irish pub called Dicey Riley's. Right? Dicey Riley's. And it says it serves food.
Dicey Riley's.
Dicey Riley's. So I'm thinking Irish pub, I'm in. So we've walked down there, me, Matt, Stu, and one of the other boys. All look very Brighton, to be fair. Yeah. Walked in, and it's just hardcore reggae music playing with 4 white women sat in one corner and a lot of very angry looking Jamaican men in the other. Just doing like just
4 white women in a corner.
Just doing like this weird like 2-step, just looking at us. So we've gone to the bar, we've ordered some drinks. Matt's decided he wants a vodka lime and soda.
Oh, you don't order a vodka lime and soda with Dicey Riley's. Or
a tonic and soda or something. And I was like, and they were like, yeah, we don't do tonic. And then he ordered a beer, and they were like, yeah, we don't have that beer. We've only got 2 beers on tap. And I was like, Matt, just order something. I need. Please, yeah. And then we were like, oh, so have you got any food? They were like, nah, we don't do food.
We got crisps.
And they were like, yeah, we got bar snacks. And one of the very lovely ladies in the corner came up to us and was like, just go down the kebab shop, boys. Grab something from the kebab shop. You can eat outside. So we're sat outside having our kebab or burger or whatever we ordered. And there's this one fella there was like a little electric scooter parked next to us. This one fella just gets on it, disappears, comes back, walks back in the pub. 2 minutes later, back on the scooter, back off
doing
again.
a few little supply runs.
He's doing a
couple of drop-offs.
A couple of re-ups, isn't he? So
he's got a little operation on the go.
That was fun. And then we got back to where we were staying, and someone was just playing Grime as loud as it could be played.
Sounds chill.
So it was an interesting.
Sounds like an ideal post LGT. Matt said I sent a part of the sleep situation. A stream. Do you want me to get it up? Is it appropriate for the channel? Bearing in mind we've already had a content warning.
What's that for?
A picture of the sleeping situation.
I don't know. Oh, did he? Is this the one he sent to his missus? I do look naked in it. This will be a content warning. I do look naked, and I'm a very hairy man. Look, this was the sleeping situation.
Do you want that shared?
I don't care.
Yeah, well, it's it's your body, your choice.
Mate.
Why are you looking at me like that? Your body, your choice. I'm a very modern man.
Mate, one of the boys might have a single friend that's a girl. You know, forward that onto her. I am an impressive human being.
Although I've got Matt's face covered up. Hang on, your face.
So this was how me and Matt shared the evening in what was essentially a basement room with no windows. So it was the hottest, sweatiest room you've ever come across. Matt decided to then go for a poo when we first got in there that smelled like some cat that had been on medication.
No.
It was awful.
No. So you had your Jamaican.
Yeah. So then
your Dicey Riley's experience.
Dicey Riley's experience.
It's educational content. I don't know who we're educating, but
the youth of today. So this will put hairs on your chest, this chat, boys. So then next morning, just to sum up where the type of area we were in, we went to Tesco's Express just to get some lunch for the day. And as we've pulled up in Matt's little Fiesta, and 4 of us have piled out of this car, there's 2 men chasing each other down the street while buses are just bibbing at them. And there's a security guard on Tesco's Express at 8 in the morning.
London's so chill. It's such a chill vibe.
What the hell is going on? Then Matt got told off because he used Stu got told off because he used his fingers to pick a croissant up from the thingy, from the Tesco's, for the little Indian woman had a go at him.
They've got more to worry about there than someone picking up a croissant they're going to eat.
Honestly. So, day 2 games. So, first game I played was against Team Iceland captain.
Oh.
So, he turned up in the full garb. The shirt, the trousers, the tracksuit bottoms with all Team Iceland on.
Tight as fuck.
Yeah. But like the shoes where the toes are all separate as well, which are a bit weird.
If someone wears them, I can't. That's a red flag for me. Do you? No, sorry if anyone wears them.
But yeah, they're a bit weird.
It's a red flag.
He was playing World Eaters, which was a reasonably good matchup for me. So he was American, living in Scotland, but captain of Team Iceland.
He was an American living in Scotland and captain of Team Iceland.
Yeah. So it's a weird mix.
I feel like he's just getting around. Do you know what I mean? He just wants to be in a team, doesn't he?
He just wants to be in any team that will take him.
He's like, please.
But honestly, the nicest guy you've ever met. One of the weirdest moments was charged a unit of Death Company into some berserkers. And he went, oh, how many attacks have they got? I was like, 5 each on the charge. Strength 9, -2, 2 damage per with the power fists. He went, okay, give me a second. Goes underneath the table.
Where's he off?
Comes back up with a scientific calculator. You know, like one of the ones you used to have at school. And he went, just give me a second. Yeah, I'll just pick those up then.
Didn't roll any dice.
Didn't roll any dice. And I'm sat there like...
He just does a calculation.
He hasn't rolled any dice. I was like, you're not going to roll the dice. Like, what if a whiff? He went, percentage chance they're dead anyway, aren't they? Let's not waste...
Hell, what a way to play Warhammer.
He went, let's not waste time. I was like, okay, cool. Let's not waste time then, mate.
You've got Ulster Boy and then fucking Carol Vorderman rocks up. You're fucking Captain Ulster that's literally falling apart.
Yeah.
And then you got Carol. Don't worry about it. I'll work this out.
To be fair...
I'll take them off.
I absolutely cocked up my deployment in that game and I lost. But it was a really close game and it was really, really fun, to be fair. And then my last game, I played Space Wolves, played a guy called Fletcher. Yep. He might even be in the chat because I put him onto the podcast as well this week. And he played proper Space Wolves with all of the characters you could get. And it was just it felt like proper Warhammer again. It didn't feel like I was going to charge a unit and just delete it. it was actually had some back and forth, some nuance to it. It wasn't just that I'm shooting at that, pick it up. I'm charging that, pick it up. Like, it actually had some back and forth. A really, really good game. Really top bloke. He did, at the start of the game, decide to bin his whole army onto the floor, though. Like, the whole lot onto the deck. And it was a really lovely painted army as well. Everything was magnetised as well. So it all just went like into like a million pieces.
Oh shit! And then reassembled like
then
fucking
he had to
demonic, like a possessed army. It starts reassembling. Fucking hell, it's alive! Just like fucking hell, like, it's just a magnet.
Oh my
Jesus
god, that was
Christ.
so loud.
Was it?
Yeah, we went full leads then, I think.
Sorry,
sorry
everyone.
Yeah, honestly, really, really nice guy, top fella. And I think, like, we got back on Sunday night, and I think this leads me into, like, our next conversation about why we play Warhammer. And I just sat there and I was still chatting on the groups with the boys, and was like, right, I'm booking more tournaments. Because just the experience, like, irrelevant of winning, for me, irrelevant of winning or losing, whatever my record was, I just had a really nice time hanging out with guys, meeting new people, rolling some dice. So I booked the Bournemouth tournament, which is in February. I'll give Luke Vincent a shout out now
I'm gonna come to these as well. You told me I'm getting them booked out.
So Luke Vincent's got a GT incursion events at the start of.
I'll book that out as well in on Facebook.
Yeah. So
sorry, I just spoke over when you're going to tell people it was.
Just literally as I'm telling people when it is.
I'll get it up.
I think it's the first weekend of December. And it's 2-day in Lancing. Luke always puts on a really good event. So yeah, anyone that wants to come and almost dip your toe in it without going full, mega GT, 10 games, LGT, 700 and whatever players, I would highly recommend Mr. Vincent's.
There he is.
Yep.
I've got a picture of him up.
Highly recommend Mr. Vincent's events. They are really good, really well run. And yeah, just a great event to get yourself into doing. And, I can safely say that 99% of the boys that will be there are top guys, good laugh.
So who's that 1% then? Which player?
Me.
Which player?
I'm the 1%.
There he is. Good lad, Luke. When Luke, just tell us in the chat when the next. Oh, here we go.
See, I did get it right. First weekend of December.
Boom. There
Lancing.
You go. Get yourself to that lad. Luke, I might stream that one if you're cool with that, mate. I will stream a top table for you. Well, for us. Because I streamed at the weekend. That's what I was doing. Instead of being LGT, I was streaming a 3-day Marvel Crisis Protocol tournament. Because I wanted to test all the kit out and see how it worked.
How did it go for you?
It went bloody well. It went really well.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was good. All the kit worked. It was a good setup. I got a really nice thing I can do with the camera. It turns out it's way easier streaming games just in a place where you can move things around than your office.
Than in your room, yeah.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, it was great. I had a good time, cheers, mate. It was fun.
What have we got in the chat?
Incursion's a great event. Very few knobheads.
That again is me.
Okay, also most of the Sharks will be at Leicester GT.
Okay.
Good stuff.
I didn't know there was. God,
We're going to be there. We're going to stream it, and then you're going to the Bournemouth one. We'll go to that as well.
Bournemouth one looks good. I think Adam mentioned there's another one, Bristol maybe. That's quite good. So we're gonna do a few this year and into next year, and just get out there a bit more and meet different people in the hobby and experience different play styles and games and armies and stuff like that. So I played in 10th. I haven't played World Eaters. I hadn't played Grey Knights. I hadn't played Space Wolves as Space Wolves yet.
No one has.
So yeah, no one has. No one's crazy enough to take it. Yeah. And yeah, mate, it's just a really good experience. It's just nice.
Great. Let's talk about. Thanks for that, mate. It's good to. Well done at the GT. So, well done, everybody. We had some. Someone did pretty well.
Stewie, sexy Stu.
Stuart's technically one of the world champions now because he beat someone who'd won a 10-0 tournament in the US.
No, that was
I've got it wrong.
You've got it. So
I'm worried.
So I think Guy played him game 1 and I think lost, but Guy can correct me if that he went 10-0. But
I thought someone beat this guy.
No, he only went 3-2 with a very similar list to Stu, and Stu went 4-1.
Yeah, Stu did a good
Stu
little run,
did really well, man. Really, really well.
Stu's been on the stream. Go watch and watch his.
Yeah, I think Stu lost the second game, is what he's saying, and I would tend to agree with what Stu says, because he had a Baneblade variant in his list, and the way the terrain was set up, he couldn't move it.
Oh, well, welcome to Imperial Knights world.
Yeah, he just couldn't move it. He could literally not get out of his deployment zone with it, and his opponent wouldn't even let him do it either. So his opponent wouldn't be like, yeah, just squeeze it through there or something.
Unlucky, mate. Yeah, sorry, unlucky. We were chatting about your... oh, the camera's gone weird. We were chatting about your... I'll just cut back. There we go. We were chatting about your reflections after the GT. And one thing that kind of just came up naturally when we were just having a catch-up on the phone on Sunday, was it Sunday night? Was this kind of conversation we started having around why do people play the game? Because we talked about mental health last week, and with mental health came this chat of like sometimes actually 40k can be quite frustrating. It can be annoying. You can have like negative experiences. And one thing that happens that we've not really talked about loads is you kind of have negative games. You know, I've had games where people have just been like not a great opponent or fun to play with. Yeah. And even though like you're rolling dice and you're having fun, it can leave a bit of a sour taste in your mouth if you have a game against someone who just, for some reason, we're not going to get into detail, but for some reason, it's just not a good interaction.
The vibe off of them.
Yeah, it's just, it's not a good interaction for one way or another. And we were talking about that seems to occur when there's a disconnect between why you play the game and what you're getting from it.
Yeah.
So we wanted to kind of just have a conversation or ask a question why. It's a good thing to check in with yourself about. It's like, why do you play 40k? And do you get what you need from 40k to tick those boxes? And
I think this is what I said previously on this stream is I took the list that I took to LGT because I know I'm not winning it. I'm not going 5-0. I could take the best meta list in the game. I'm still not going 5-0 because I'm not the best player. And I think you sometimes have to look at yourself and go, what do I want to achieve? So do I want to go to an event, probably win 2 games like I did anyway, with a list that I don't necessarily enjoy playing, but I'm playing because I believe it's strong, and getting myself worked up about the fact I'm not doing as well as my list would perceive that I should be doing? Or am I better off going, do you know what? I want to play what I enjoy. I'm going to play what I enjoy. Go and celebrate.
Have we just scored that goal?
I think Leeds have just scored a game.
I think...
just so everyone's aware, Paul is also watching the Leeds game while we're trying to do this stream.
I'm not watching Leeds. I'm not. It's just, I actually think that was a goal from the first half.
Okay. So yeah, and that's what I did. I was like, I'm going to take units that I enjoy playing, that have got play in them. So I'm not just taking rubbish, apart from possibly Sanguinary Guard, but I'm taking units that I want to play and that I find fun to play. And what I want to get out of it is I'm going to enjoy my game. Whether or not the
But what do you enjoy? Because we're very different now. That's why it's an interesting conversation, because we're very different. When you got to the table at the LGT, because I play... If me and you were just to have a game now, I would play for slightly different reasons at an event. If me and you were like, let's just have a game and have a laugh and roll some dice, my mindset would be slightly different.
Yeah.
I'd want a good game. I wouldn't want like a one-sided game.
Yeah.
And if you play me and just like absolutely smash me and had like a crap list, I wouldn't find that a particularly fun, positive experience. I won't spit my dummy out because I'd make sure that we're going into the game with some kind of understanding that we're going to get something decent out of it. But I won't be too bothered. However, if I went to like an event, I'm just being honest. If I go to an event, I am definitely placing my enjoyment of the event based upon how well I play. Not necessarily how many games I win, but like how well I play. And I would be frustrated if I just got like smashed and didn't do well.
What would happen then? So say you took Jakari, right? And you played Jakari to the best of your ability. So you're playing well, to your point, and you go 0-5.
I still find it frustrating, which is probably why I won't play. Which is why I'm annoyed about Imperial Knights. That I think that's the heart of my irritation with Imperial Knights is... Sorry, I just drunk loads of... Sorry, go. Is... I think I'm going to find it a frustrating experience playing with a faction which has got an unlikely chance to do well at events or in the league that we've got going on at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that I won't find enjoyment in interacting with my opponent or playing and like play. Of course I will. Like I paint them all over 7 it's good. 40k is like a great fun game to engage with. But the bit that I enjoy about the game is making strategic decisions that I'm like, oh, I did well. Do you know what I mean? It's like the
I
reward
played
of
that
yeah,
part well.
Yeah, I like that. I like the competitive element of it. Like that's the bit that I enjoy. That I'm like, I don't like just like I don't want to play a game where it just feels really random and the winner was like, well, that was random. Yeah. That was just weird. Do you know what I mean? Like anybody could have won. I want to play a game where I'm like, I played well, I applied my tactics properly, and I might not say I have to have won the game, but I want to have left thinking, I could have won that, or I was. Do you know what I mean? I want to feel mentally stimulated and feel like I did well.
So this is what I felt in that first game I played that Grey Knights player. I think I lost like 100 to 75. But for me, scoring 75 against that caliber of player and that army that was so like anti what I was doing, I was like, I'm happy with that. I was like, I feel like I've played that game to the best of my ability, and I do understand what you're saying, but you know, you've got to at some point look at this hobby and go, there's people out there that do this professionally. Like there's people that play this week in, week out.
Yeah, fuck those people. You can beat them. Honestly, you can't listen. I played War Machine at like the highest level you can imagine. Like, and War Machine won 40k. Yeah. But there was a lot of people, and like it was a really difficult game to get good at. And there are definitely some people in 40k that lock themselves in a room or in a house and just play games all day. Yeah. Right. Fine. And I'm not saying that they're obviously going to be amazingly good players. Yeah. And if you only played once a month and came up against them, there's a high chance they'll beat you. But I think the nature of 40k is not this huge. I think there are a lot of people that are trying to push this message and get you to sign up to certain things or join a Patreon. Oh, yeah,
that's just absolute rubbish.
There's all this thing of like, we're pro players. And I think it's creating this perception that you've got like everybody and then he's like really elite players. And I don't think the skill gap's that big. I think if you went to a club and played once a week, or maybe even once every other week, you could get to a level by which you were really good at 40k and could take anywhere. I think it's like a mindset thing and what you do outside of the game. So, watching games, watching streams, having conversations with...
So what do the chat think about that? Do the chat think that, say you came up against Manny Chima, Vic VJ, one of those sort of people... But
remember that 40k is unbalanced, right? So remember those people you just named there, they are playing the best list.
Yeah, of course.
So they're playing the best... So 40k... This is a bit where I find the Imperial Knights thing frustrating. Is what you have to do to get in the mindset of getting good at 40k is you have to be like, what's the best I could reasonably do with this faction? That's why I love the Meta Watch stuff. Yeah. I find that really interesting because if those guys, if we went back through and looked at their list, they're playing. I bet they're playing Eldar, Chaos Space. They're playing the top factions, right? Tau.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
They're playing They're playing. What are you on about disagreeing completely, Guy?
But they're playing the top list. They're playing the top army. Then they're playing a list that they have skewed to play against other top armies because they know what they're going to be playing once they get to that point of a tournament. So they know that they're going to beat the majority of the people on the way to that on just skill alone and playing their army. And then they know that they've skewed...
Or convincing their opponent that the game's finished and they should just work out the score together.
Yeah, do the classic. Should we just math this out?
I think I beat you, mate. Yeah.
I think I won.
Adam says the game isn't just what you put into the table, it's mental too. Agree. Vincent, pro players put that time to learn all the factions is a big factor as well. Pro players put that time. I agree completely, Luke. I agree. But that's the point I'm making, is it is less... I guess my point is, it is less of a skill thing and more, it is a skill thing, but it is also about understanding the meta, learning the meta, taking the absolute best list, and knowing what your opponent does. And I think the point I'm making is you could get to that stage of knowing all the main factions, what lists are taking. You could really understand what your army is taking. I think people perceive the kind of the skill level to be this big gulf, and I actually think it's people knowing the meta, doing the research. The skill. So there's two things in there. There's knowledge and there's skill. But I could play a game with someone and not explain the rules and smash them. But if they learnt the rules, who's to say they won't smash me?
But again, this goes back to the whole conversation of why we do it. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be taking the best list, spending all my evenings researching I want to play what I want to play.
Yeah, fine. Well, yeah.
I want to have fun playing what I want to play. And yeah, it might not be the strongest at the moment. But at some point, it might get good. Or I might get to the point where I know my army so well and so inside out, and I know exactly what each unit does and what it works out against, and just by playing reps and reps and reps with it, and I'll start winning games.
Guy wants to ring in and tell me why. Go on then, Guy. Go on. Get connect to my Bluetooth. Go on. Connect.
That's my phone.
Yeah, Guy, you've got Liam's number, haven't you?
1 second. Let me just.
I'll just read some stuff for the chat while Guy rings in. Rob says, agree they are beatable, but the skill level is the wrong word. But how much they have tested 10th and they know the new edition really well at the end of 9th wouldn't have the advantage they have now. Yeah, no, but that's a knowledge thing, not a skill thing. Adam says that's just good list building though. Telly, these lads play for teams. Find a roadcaster, that's it. Click the road.
I've got it.
Oh, you connected. All right, cool. Yeah, Guy, just ring Liam and I'll bring in. These lads play for teams that can turn out a new list and prep an army way quicker than normal men.
We're just normal, man.
Let alone afford it. True. Adam, they're building their list to go to event and win, but that's what they want out of it. Matt, exactly. If a new unit is amazing, they can paint 3 of them. Most people will just add it to their list. Rob, I'd not say I'm a good player, but my Southampton GT result is because I knew my army better than everyone else. Yeah, this is the point I'm making. The point I'm making is that it's not a skill thing, it's a knowledge thing. It's not like you don't win 40k because your knowledge is better than your opponent. You win because you apply the models better on the table versus your own, and that is skill and knowledge. But I think there's a perception that people think that like there's this kind of like other tier of these super amazing players, but they are playing the absolute crispest list, and I think people can get there. I don't think I just don't think it's this like huge.
It'd be interesting to see if they did it where they did. Everyone has to play the same list. Everyone has to play the same list on the same terrain, and then see what the results shake out at. If you know what I mean. I think that would be interesting.
I think it would be interesting. Sorry, I feel like I've poured petrol on the.
No, but I think this is the whole idea. You've got to be able to have a discussion around it, because this is the point. Even me and you, who do this together, who chat 40k all the time together, have a difference of opinion on why we play 40k.
Well, different. I mean, it's a different
outlook on it.
Yeah, different outlook. I play 40k because I enjoy the strategy and I want to get better, and I would rank my enjoyment based on like how I'm playing. But that's not to say that I couldn't have a game that was very casual. Yeah. There's this whole perception, isn't there, that like, and I think this is the point we were kind of talking about on the phone is if you were playing 40k to get better at the game and do well in events and, you know, do oh, is he ringing? Oh, nice. Go on, bring him in. There we go. Guy, you there? Oh, hang on. You got to press this and you got to press roadcaster like that. You ready?
Okay.
Boom.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
You hear me?
We can hear you well.
Oh, my giddy aunt. Hello.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Tell us why we're wrong, Guy.
Please tell us why Liam's wrong and I'm right. Go.
Right, first of all, if you go back and watch the finals game between Liam VSL and Victor J, you'll see one of the most pure demonstrations of 40k skill expression that I've ever seen. Both players want to win the right way for a start, so I know it will trigger you, Paul, because you'll be like, oh, they did a couple of takebacks, but not War Machine. Shut up.
It's not War Machine.
Let me respond to that point in kind. Carry on.
No. You don't get to respond. What I'm saying is...
This guy suddenly Guy. Oh, we forgot Epic Flan now belongs to Guy.
Sorry, Guy. Carry on.
Yeah. Basically, the top players, they don't want to win because someone forgot to do a charge. They want to win because they have outthought and outplayed someone. So that is the culture. And
okay.
Yeah.
I made my point the other day on the show. Go on, carry on. Fuck it.
We'll go back to that. What I'm saying is, if you go back and watch that game, you'll see that you'll see a constant pre-measuring of potential charge ranges, angles. If you phantasm in your next turn, what will your angle be? They're all thinking a turn or two ahead. Their whole strategy is predicated on outthinking their opponent and planning where they can go. And it's not just because their lists are better or their lists are smashy. Because they're top players, they want to play the best list, but they've formulated that through testing and practice, not because they've just gone and picked a net list. Liam VSL and the whole of Team Ignite that were playing that CSM list finessed it over a huge period of time, and it took like just the list writing and planning what the list does and how it plays. People like me can come along and sort of like ham-fistedly do something similar, but like do you see what I'm saying? They're not just winning because they've got a better list.
I'm not saying that though. I'm not. I agree with you. I'm not saying they only win because of their lists at all. I'm saying that the skill gap I think is smaller than people perceive it to be.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not at all saying that. You just take any list and you can get to top an event. No way.
Yeah.
There's definitely a high level of skill at that level. I just think that people are closer to that than they think.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's necessarily true. I think there's a big baggy middle, and there's sort of the mid top, and then there's the people at the very high top. I think they're playing sort of 4D chess, but we're playing 3D chess, if that makes sense. If you watch Vic and Liam play, like the way that they're planning out how the turns are going to go and the measurements and the angles is like I'm learning to do that, but it's really interesting trying to learn to get better to do that stuff. But it is at a level above what everyone I know is doing. Right, you have to acknowledge that. Like,
but is that because of the amount of times they play, or is it just because? Is it reps? Do you reckon? Do you reckon they just rep?
I think it's reps and experience, and I think also having the right analytical mindset to plan. And I think you can learn those skills. I don't think they're unachievable, and that's just why coaching is so popular. I
think there's a great word you've just used there, which is mindset as well. I think mindset is definitely part of this hobby and how you want to get out of it. And like I watched some of those boys. I was playing, I think, a table away from Vic at one point. I know Matt was playing next to Manny at one point, and it's just a different. You can just see that they're not messing about. They're not joking. They're not having a laugh. They're in the game.
Well,
whereas I'm there prattling about and I'm talking to people as they're walking past and
doing fucking CPR to Ulcer Boy.
Looking for a band-aid.
I do disagree. I think some of them are fucking around and having a laugh, actually. But I think it does depend. Like, I've definitely seen that. Like, whenever I've played a very, very top player, my experiences, with one exception that I can't talk about publicly, just because that's, probably not advisable. They do tend to be like they want to win the game the right way. They're not. It's the people in the middle that I find it a bell end.
Yeah. No, I've said this for a while.
You can't do all your saves. You can't do all your saves. You roll them all once. You can't spend the CP. Whereas the top level players know that they've outthought you were going to beat you anyway, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. Do your charge. That's the experience that I've had.
Yeah, I've always found a similar thing. Guy, let me just make one not rebuttal, but reply to your comment at the beginning that was around like take backs and things like that. I guess where I'm coming from there is that I think that knowledge, the bit that I don't like about competitive games is when knowledge is like the biggest factor, and it's knowing what everything does, and it's a knowledge thing rather than a skill thing. And from playing War Machine, I associate not being good under pressure and forgetting things and not doing things in the right order, and like basically the kind of like take back thing, a sign that someone could get better at the game. But I have more understanding from playing with you guys and listening to stuff and playing myself that there is certainly a higher degree of take back flexibility. And I think I think I would be in line with what most people thought was a good take back and what was a bad take back. Like me and you have talked about this. Yeah. If you have to change the game state and you're like going way back, it's a problem. But if it's just it doesn't affect the game state and it's like really easy to just be like, yeah, mate, sure, then there's definitely more flex in this game. I just don't like the kind of like going back to the point by which, actually, can I move this thing so you can't see it then, and actually can I put this there when you've had like, it's like 20 minutes back in the turn or something. That I think's a bit sloppy.
Yeah, it's when you've got new information, it's not okay.
Yeah,
when it's something like, oh God, I was going to charge that rhino into there, sorry, do you mind?
Then,
No, if it's like, I was going to shoot my thing, which now that this other thing has happened, that's when it's like, no.
Yeah.
You're changing your play based on something that's happened to try and give yourself a competitive advantage and hiding it as a take back.
Yeah.
What you might find is that a lot of competitive players actually set their expectations for the game at the start of the. You might see this on streams and people go, "Hey, look, just so you know, I like to play by intent. I will do this." And also another really good one, which is in the movement phase, saying, "I'm moving this over here." And then you'll see that I'm doing an inch here, rotating, moving here. And when we finish, that will be a 6-inch charge. Cool, we agree. And then if it gets knocked, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So that's, and also setting the expectations for the game at the start. like saying, hey, if it's in the same phase and it's not based on your information, it's okay to do a take back. But if it's the next bit, so then you both are like, oh, if this dice is half on a mat, I'll re-roll it, because then everyone knows what's going on, and if they agree to that, there's a social contract, and they can't really start being a dick about it.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
Guy, before we let you go, and we appreciate you ringing. Why do you play 40k, mate? What's your reason for playing 40k, and do you get what you want from the game based on that expectation?
As I said in the comments, what I get from the game is I like to savour the moment when the light leaves their eyes.
Just watching Tau players crumble.
Have a go at me and then say that.
What do I get from the game? Well, if I'm going to be serious for a moment, I work in a hospice. I work with death and dying on a daily basis, so I need to look after my mental health, and it helps with that as an escape. It's something inconsequential that I can think about, so it takes me away from reality. Painting is very meditative. Lately, I've got really into playing. I feel like I'm improving, and I'm enjoying improving, and I'm enjoying the games.
Well, you're smashing the back out of all of us at the moment, guys.
Yeah. I'm worried about you in this league, mate. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. The factor is I have a better index than I've had for a while, but I have actually felt like I've been actually enjoying the process of playing the games and thinking in a way that I probably haven't before. So it's just a good time, really. Of course, when CSM are rubbish again and I'm getting spanked every week,
phone back in at that point.
Guy, appreciate you, mate. Good points, all good points. Appreciate you ringing in.
Thank you, Guy.
Made a lot of sense.
I'll hug you again next time I see you.
See you later, matey.
Oh, you big strong bear. Bye.
There you go, little dial in there from Guy. Appreciate you, mate.
I think,
what's the chat saying?
So we got Dom talking about. I do get this. I think some players do see the game in a different way. I think some players just look at it and can go. It's like chess, though, isn't it? It is like chess.
Of course, it's like chess.
And the whole thing with chess is understanding what your opponent's going to do, to what you're going to do, to what they're going to react to that, to then what.
Yeah, completely. But I feel like people are taking my point in the wrong way.
Basically, you're wrong.
I'm not wrong. I am saying that the skill level is not as deep as far as you think it is, and that anybody who commits themselves to getting better at the game will get better at the game. The things that they're doing is not rocket science.
No,
we used to do that in War Machine. You had to be thinking way ahead of what you were doing.
Yeah, it's just
but that's fine. I often think that's a mindset to get better at the game and learn the game and practice properly.
Yeah, it's practicing. So this is what we used to say when we. And again, it's probably not massively relevant to this, but when I used to play American football, you practiced with intent. So you turned up to training and you practiced as if it was a game, and as if you were playing competitively. Because not only did it help you get better, it helped whoever you were playing against get better.
Yeah, totally.
Because otherwise, if you turn up to a game and half-arse it, then when you get into an actual game situation, you're not getting the right experience and the right process to get you better at what you're doing. And I think 40Ks like that is, we have a laugh when we play, but we're all playing with the intent to win.
Yeah. But that's I think we're getting to, maybe this is one we can pick up on another episode as well, because I think we're getting to the heart of the tension that exists with 40K in that okay, Paul, when you put it that way, I guess we go, okay, good. Wait, there we go, Guy. I think the tension that exists with 40K is people play 40K for lots of different reasons. This is what we were chatting about, Liam, wasn't it? On the phone. People play 40K for a whole bunch of different reasons. Some people want to play in a way in which it's kind of like, I want to get as good as I can with this list. I want it to be a really competitive game. I want to kind of simulate a tournament environment. Other people like, let's put these models on the board. This could be mad. Yeah, this could be this could be daft.
Banter.
Let's just fucking let's just do this. It's fucking not really bothered. You're not really bothered what the end result is. I just want to have some fun and roll some dice. But it's really important that the opponents that you play, like for me, it's important that people that are very competitive have flex. I think if you're a casual player and you just want to put models on the table and have a laugh and have fun, I don't think you need to have much flex. I think that's how you want to play the game. Yeah. And if you get an opponent, they need to be able to meet you there. I think the competitive players who are more like, I want to get really good with my list. I want to literally be as efficient as I can with my model activations. This 500-point model, I want to get 500 points out of it on the table. I'm going to be really efficient. I think if you're playing a player whose expectation of the game is like just rolling some dice, you have to demonstrate some flex. Otherwise, the other person experiences a game where they're like, "Oh, you're literally you're smashing me," Or you're playing a game where like, oh yeah, I can't do anything. Oh, you score max scenario points. Okay, yeah, I can't do anything. You score max scenario points. I think, do you know what I mean? I think the flex has to go that way because I think it.
Yeah, and I think, and this is what happens, isn't it? As the tournament goes on, or as the event goes on, it is you find that you've got the tables that I was playing on lower down. That people were all there. I didn't play anyone everyone was just having a good time because they were there. Their models were on the table. Do
you get any bad guys? You get any like people? Because Guy's spot on with like, I think that at the top end of a tournament, you like people are pretty clean and tight and like know the shit. Middle is where it gets a bit like you get some fucking people absolutely desperate to win. It all gets a bit. It all gets a bit fast and loose with the movement. Do you know what I mean? Oh yeah, he only needs a 7. Well,
the guy I played for my third game. You could tell that he wanted to win. And that's fine.
This isn't Ulster Boy, is it? This is
the guy that was playing Death. He wanted to win. And you could tell he wanted to win.
He was pumped.
Yeah, because of the way he was doing stuff. And that's fine. Like, I want to win the game of 40k, but I'm going to have a good time while doing it.
Yeah.
And if I lose, I lose. I'm not, it's not the be-all and end. And I think this is what you find hard is you see some people, and you could see some people at that event just look so crestfallen. And you're like, is it because you've lost a game of 40? Like, you can't get yourself to that point over a game of 40k.
I think I think the key bit there is if you play 40k to get results at events and tournaments, and if you're going to put so much pressure and expectation on yourself, then you have to make sure that the actions that you take are going to match. That's going to be realistic, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Then this is the point that I'm sure that's Michael is making. It's this: you have to train and you have to play with intent, because if you don't, when you get to that next step up, when you play that next player up, that next level up, you're not there, you're not ready for it. And I think what everyone's saying in the chat makes sense. It's like, I could turn up to a table and on my day, I probably got a 1 in 1,000 chance of beating one of these top players, but it might be that one chance. It might be that 1 in 1,000. And I draw the right secondaries at the time, the dice go my way, I do something big brain that I haven't done before that just happens to come off. That can happen. But on the other 999 times...
But the point I'm making is you're not but you don't want it. You're not that bothered.
I don't care.
You're not that bothered about it happening.
No.
You're just kind of like, I just want to roll some dice and have
I want to win, but I want to win in the way that I want to win. So I'm not going to go to a tournament with the strongest list, put myself under undue pressure for no reason to try and get a result that... So say you were going, right, I'm going to go to this event and I want to go 4-1. So I'm happy to lose one game, but I want to win 4 games.
That could be your aim, yeah. It could be like that. That could be kind of what I'm aiming for. I'm looking for a 4-1.
So say you go, day one, you go win 1, lose 1. So you're going into your third game going, well, I've lost my one game. So I've got to win my next game. I've got to win. I want to win. I've put my mindset into this place where I've hanging everything on this game. So what happens if you lose that game? What
you definitely be. I've experienced this in War Machine. I've only started playing 40k again. I've not been to. Yeah. I haven't been to any 40k tournaments. Oh, have I? No, but AOS.
You did some team tournaments, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did team tournament. Yeah, that would definitely happen to me in War Machine. But also, here's the thing. Like I would like. Because I was getting WTC, there's so much pressure on doing well at events, and if you didn't do well, people are like, "Oh fucking hell, he didn't do very well, did he? Yeah. Northie fucking lost round 3."
Yeah.
But the main thing is having the clarity that if you do lose that third game or you lose the second game, to be like, okay, well, what did I learn? Keep my chin up.
Yeah, take a step
it's that
back
bit.
and
Like
look at it.
It's absolutely fine to be competitive. It's absolutely fine to be like, I want to go
4-1,
4-1, and it's absolutely fine to be disappointed if you don't go 4-1. But the key bit is making sure that you don't attach your enjoyment to going 4-1.
You can't.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine to have a goal. It's fine to be like, I want to go 4-1. I want to do well. I want to get better at the game. But the key bit is like, okay, well, if I don't get that, I'm still going to have a great time with my mates. Yeah. And I'm still going to have to think about and reflect on what I've learned or how I could get better. And I'm going to aspire.
100%, and I think this is where we got to.
So people get salty and shitty and fucking, like Guy's saying, I played a guy at the weekend, complained about my dicing. So that kind of stuff, that's lame. Dice moaners are lame. That just makes you feel shit.
So the game I played against Space Wolves, I made him take 31 free up saves. He passed 28 of them. Well, that's not average, is it?
No, that's.
But what am I going to do?
That's
Stand there and get annoyed about it, or just go, "Cool, that's the way the
fair
dice
enough,
have gone, mate. Let's roll some more dice somewhere else." Like,
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing to take away from this is whatever your expectations are within this hobby, you cannot let it affect what's going on outside of this hobby, if you know what I mean. And I think that's what you sometimes see some people doing.
Of course you do. Yeah, of course you do. It's not just 40k. You see that with loads of things, don't you? With Sunday League football, with whatever else. I guess the point we're making is linked to the mental health chat. That is, if you do place your enjoyment of the game. In fact, that's the trap is probably placing your enjoyment on doing well.
Yeah,
there's a difference, isn't there? Like you can place your enjoyment in getting better. Yeah, and as long as you learn something from every game you've played. Because I'd lose some games at War Machine and be like, it's because I didn't switch. You know, I wasn't switched on. I got to the table and got a bit complacent. As long as you're learning something and going like, okay, cool, I got better. You can still be a good opponent and like a nice person to be around at the event and engage with. It's when you let it go to your heart and you're like, well, that's it. It's fucked.
Yeah, I'm done.
That's it. It's fucked.
Yeah, what's the point? What's the point?
The game's shit. The fucking thing's broken. It's that fucking. What's chat saying?
I only complain about Steve Roberts' dice. Don't let Pete hear you talk about dice moaning. And I think, and let's be fair, it's a dice game. There's literally no point complaining about dice because we've all rolled good dice and we've all rolled bad dice.
I think Guy's right that the dice thing, it does make you feel a bit crap if someone's like doing the like whole dice rolling, moaning thing. You know, just like. It does make you feel a bit shit, and I think
100%. If someone's whinging about the fact that your dice are hot or their dice are cold, it is what it is. Dice are dice.
Yeah,
it's the randomness of this game.
I say to him, "Well, that's because I've microwaved the fuck out of him, mate.
Get the salt bath, buddy.
I've microwaved him with Six's facing up, mate. You got this all day. Mind him, mate. Right angry." This is just a start, mate.
It's like Matt's dice tray. You got to watch Matt's dice tray. I made him buy another one at LGT because even his opponents at LGT were looking at it because it was dodgy.
Well, you struggle to just hit the fucking dice tray. This thing's like a bowling alley.
Let's be fair. Who missed it?
It's like a Bolivian runway. This.
Who missed more of them than me last time?
Me.
Yeah, you. So don't you start, mate. When me and you play each other, it will just be basically us throwing dice.
Bowling. We'll just be bowling. Bit of dice bowling. I got fired up there, Guy. Thanks for coming on, mate. We appreciate you dialing in. I feel like it's a good chat for us to keep visiting. Is this like why'd you play? Because one thing, I think me and you are interested in having this chat because we play we still have a great game.
Yeah.
Like there'd be no drama there, but we play for very different reasons. But the main thing is, it doesn't matter what you play the game for. Just be a good opponent at the table.
Yeah,
just keep it nice and aligned. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You're a competitive player, but you're playing someone who's like chill and cash. Don't worry about it. Although, just to open this bag of whatever it is before the league's interesting for that respect. Because, like, I think the skill sometimes in a competitive player is giving someone who's maybe playing a bit more casually. Because, like, for the league that we're all in, everyone wants to do well in the league.
Everyone doesn't want to sing karaoke.
Yeah, people are like, I want to go in the league to lose all my games. People want to do well.
Yeah.
But there's still a conversation to be had by which if someone lines up and you say, okay, look, my list is a lot better. This could be a really short game. I could smash them. Maybe let it go to turn 4. Maybe because that's a skill in itself. That's a skill. There is skill in like winning.
But that almost goes against what you were saying because you've got to play your list to intent so that when you do go and play players that have
but that doesn't work if you're playing against someone who's not got that same mindset. That's my point. That's why competitive players have to flex.
Yeah.
Competitive players have to be like, okay, fine, you've rocked up with a list that is really not a meta list. You know, you've travelled fucking 40 minutes to get it or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a good game. I'm going to make sure I'm winning every turn and I'm up by 10 points. But like, we're going to get 4 turns. Do you know what I mean? Because we used to do that with War Machine. We'd get someone new to the club and we'd literally see opportunities where we're like, I could just end this game now, I could kill the caster. But you've just come down to the club. Yeah. And we'd make sure the game, we'd still win, but it would be like, there'd be a lot going on in the game.
Educational as you're playing it.
Yeah, I'll just make it just make it an engaging experience. Guys, I only complain about the Steve Roberts dice. Oh yeah, the magic dice tray.
The magic dice tray.
Oh yeah, that's what we had the other night.
The magic dice tray.
Fucking roll the dice and it's like,
it's
like moves somewhere else.
4 times.
Fucking Luigi board. Right, cool.
right.
I think we're giving that a good chat. I think if we just keep this going, I'm just going to keep saying controversial things. And guys, I agree about taking your foot off the gas. I definitely do that versus Adam.
No, that was Guy last night. I think Guy. What time did the poor fella pick his models up by? I felt bad for him, to be fair. I think it was like end of turn 2, beginning of turn 3, wasn't it?
Savage, absolutely. Well, there's a delay on this, Liam, so we might be waiting for that.
Deliberately and obviously playing down can be condescending.
No, that's true. Okay,
also,
fine.
Feel bad
I do concede on that.
I think if you,
it can be condescending. That is a good point.
I think what you need to do if you're playing someone that you know that you're going to win against, and I know it's bad to say that, but even I sometimes put models on the table and look across and go, I'm pretty sure I've got this. I'm pretty sure I'm comfortable here. It's talk them through what you're doing and explain why you're doing it. And this is what I said to like the guy that I was, the Eldar player. He was like, I haven't played Blood Angels yet. I was like, well, this is what they do.
This is Ulsa boy.
This is Ulsa.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with like the Sanguinor coming in and just explaining that to people and making sure that at least if they come up against another Blood Angels player again or a Knights player or whoever, they can go, oh, I remember that. I remember because that guy told me that, this is what Death Company do and this is what so-and-so does. And just trying to at least, spread some knowledge within the player base as well.
Yeah. The bottom line, I think, of this conversation is, we've kind of got...
About half 7.
I feel like fucking hell, guy. We've gone off topic a little bit, but I think the bottom line of the conversation is the best thing you can get out of... There are 2 things in there. You need to make sure that you're both coming to the table for the same reasons.
Yeah.
And the second thing is that both people leave the table having a good experience. And that's the...
Jesus. Tom set my naked body as his background on his phone. That's now my screensaver. Excellent. Thank you, Matt.
Well,
I am now... Mate, do you know what the problem is? I watched an interview on ITV the other day, and it was some poor fella, and basically they'd stolen his identity. And
Who, ITV? Philip Schofield?
No,
is that his new gig?
some weird people on like dating apps had stolen his identity.
Had they?
So I'm going to end up being that person on like Grindr, that you lot are going to steal my identity and try and extort gay men. I
mean, fucking hell, this conversation took a turn.
Well, I thought we'd try and turn it a bit more light-hearted.
This escalated. You're accusing us of we're going to steal... He should have gone Grindr.
Mate, hairy blokey karaoke,
Tom says it's off on League website.
Oh, God, Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you what it's going to be,
Now
Tom.
I'm going as red as my
I'll tell you what it's
jumper.
going to be. Wear me objectives.
Oh, mate, print
It's going to be some of them.
Print them on the objective
It's going to be a fucking objective marker. Get that. Have you got... Shall I bring my objectives? Yeah, you should. Liam, I think we've done well there, mate. I think it was a good chat. That's what we wanted. We had an LGT chat. We had a meta chat. We've had a why'd you play the game chat, which I think we'll revisit and get more opinions. And
definitely. I think next week might be a chance to look at the Space Marine Codex.
Oh yeah, next week will be Space Marine.
I probably need to buy my version of the Space Marine Codex,
well.
don't I?
I've got a lot of Space Marines.
I went to order it the other day off of a website.
I've given up ordering shit off websites.
And it was like 25% off. And I was like, oh, sweet. Then they wanted to charge me £5 postage and packing. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's guys buying we got this t-shirt, 20 quid, was 25 quid for a t-shirt. It was either 20 quid or 25 quid, you have to ask Rob. And then we've got objective markers of Liam, they're coming in, they're £10 a pop.
Mate, the merch store is taking off with my naked body.
75 more, listen, we get 75 more subscribers and there's like 1,400 more watch hours. We're doing Liam objective markers, Warhammer t-shirt.
We're doing merch.
Just the pictures.
Imagine turning up to a GT, right, and literally just going, I'll do the objective markers, and just chucking some poor fellow on the other side of the tables, just sat there, turned up for a lovely game of Warhammer, and my
frisbeeing him out.
Hairy chest is all over his poor table. I don't know how comfortable I am with this.
Well, I mean, it's not really for you to have an opinion on it, really. I've got the eye on the picture now.
Oh, do you? Have you got the rights?
I won't do that to you. Tom says he wants them now. I won't go on the objectives.
It's the one way I can win. Just people won't go on the objectives of my body.
I'm not putting my models on that.
I will not. I refuse. to put my models on that sweaty human being.
It's lovely. Don't do yourself down. You weren't sweaty. Right. Thanks for joining us in the chat, boys. That was a punchy, lively chat.
And if anyone's got any topics that they want me and Paul to have a chat about, send them to us in the stream. Send them privately. And then it's a ballsy play. Oh, mate, imagine if I turned up with my own objective markers of me naked.
Fuck.
Oh, that's a big boy play. That is
Bournemouth next year. That's the goal.
That is some big dick energy right there.
Just have the pictures split up across the objective markers.
Mate,
so to start with, they're like, you piece them together.
Imagine if we all had them though. Like, imagine how weird that would be if you like turn up to one table and it's just like you playing them and you put these objective markers of me down. Then you like play another game and like Guy turns up and he's got objective markers of me.
I've
like,
fucking decided. I've decided.
Is this bloke?
Lads, we'll work it out in the chat, but I've sorted it out. I've got a guy. We're getting it. I've decided right now. We're doing it.
Oh my god!
Thanks.
Why do you play the hobby? So I can have naked pictures of myself on the board as we're playing. That is why I play this hobby.
Tom said, just play nude. You'll go 5 Nick.
Just pop my Todge on the table and be like, "Well,
love it. Deal with that.
Deal with that. It's looking at you."
Right, well done, mate. I think we're not going to get a content warning for music. Maybe for content.
Maybe for the actual content.
Maybe for the words, but not for the music this time.
The swearing's all right, isn't it?
It's fine. It's fine. Tao, what was it? Yeah, no, I'm not going back to Tao. So thanks for appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys are great. Really appreciate you jumping on and chatting to us.
Let's make Liam famous. Let's not make Liam
famous.
Liam does not need to be famous. Liam's got a lot of stuff in his past that does not need to come out. Let's just
I made my decision.
Oh no.
I've got a vision.
I'll be like one of those politicians that gets like fucking photographed as they're leaving their house.
We're just getting warmed up. I got plans for days now. My mind's going 10 different directions. Closing thoughts. Thanks for listening, boys. Thanks for tuning in.
My closing thoughts are why you've got my naked body in 10 different ways in your head at this moment in time.
I'm worried.
Yeah.
You're playing toy fucking soldiers.
Let's keep it real, guys. We're playing toy soldiers. Thanks for watching the stream. We will see you at the club. And if we don't know who you are and you've just tuned in, we really appreciate